And so the DSTV pricing confusion still continues, and MultiChoice Africa is the latest to actually speak to this issue. They have the communique out that has about 21 questions and answers to whether there's been a price reduction. What we are seeing, is it a promo? Is it going to last for a period of time and revert to where it was? MultiChoice, they've been providing answers to all of these questions, and we'll be analyzing them here on Beyond the Numbers. We will also analyze what the minister put out. Is it real price reduction, or it is just a promo being packaged to be a price reduction? That is what we're going to do here on Beyond the Numbers with data. And for DSTV or MultiChoice Africa to even agree to do this new value-added approach, what did they consider? What would what has to give on the side of government, on the side of DSTV or MultiChoice Africa? You have all of those answers here on the show. And as usual, Winston Taki and Caleb Zeblim are in the studio, and you can see the man behind you guys, Samuel Nete George. He is the Minister for Communication, and yesterday he was on PM Express. He has been very, very clear in terms of this whole DSTV pricing saga has been concerned, what he wants and what he doesn't want. He made that clear to us in July when he did the first press briefing as far as this issue is concerned. I want us to go and listen to what he said, what he wants, and then what he said will not be accepted when he addressed the press somewhere in July this year.
All kinds of funny comments on social media. They broadcast in this country on a license issued by the NCA. That license has terms and conditions. If you flout those terms and conditions, we have the power and mandate to revoke that license. And so we would use the power of the state to protect the citizens of the state. And like I said, tomorrow is a holiday. But tomorrow at 1 p.m., I will meet with the Ghana and South Africa team in my office. And I'm clear in my mind, that meeting will not come to an end without a reduction, an agreed reduction in the price. I have seen the attempt by the South African management to say that when you buy a package, they should upgrade you to the next one. We are grateful. But that's not what we want. We want a price reduction. And that's what we will push tomorrow at tomorrow's meeting. And I'll update the country as soon as we're done with that.
Well, he was very clear. We want price reduction. We don't want upgrades, or when we pay and you upgrade us. But per what we have seen, as far as that communique is concerned, Caleb, is that what we are seeing? Is it a price reduction or is it an upgrade?
So if you look at it from the new customers, you can say it's a price reduction. For new customers, when you go and buy your decoder, you are eligible to apply for, buy for, let's say, a family package, and they'll give you compact. So there's a bit of a price reduction there. But then if you look through DSTV's FAQs, the frequently asked questions that they posted on their website today. 21 questions that they provided their own answers to. It says that if you are a current customer of DSTV, already on a package, it's not advisable for you to go down a bit or downgrade yourself and get access to the higher package. So this means that as an existing customer, you are not going to get a price reduction per se, because you still pay what you get, but you have access to more channels. Which is why earlier in the committee briefings and all of that, Sam George referred this as a value added approach and not really a price reduction. So if you look at it from the new customer point of view, yes, you can say there's some price reduction there, but then because of DSTV's FAQs, which says that once you're already an existing customer on a package, just pay what you have and then they'll give you a higher package. Or you can decide to go a step up and they'll still give you a higher package. But then the downgrading, DSTV wasn't really clear on that. They said it's not advisable for you to downgrade yourself. And another question, point 11 in the FAQ says that if you pay less than your current package, you will not have access to their service. So this means that if you're current an existing customer, there's no price reduction.
That's the dynamics right now. It looks like it is different across levels. It depends on where you are and where you are entering and the type of customer you be at a point where the 1st October to 31st December, promotion is concerned. But what the minister announced to all of us 2 days ago didn't look like something that was a promotion. DSTV says that, well, we understand what we are doing is going to last between October 1st and December 31st, 2025. The minister was asked yesterday on PM Express, is this going to stay fixed? Is it going to stay permanent? He said he was confident, although there will be subject to price, adjustment. But he made an impression that this was not a promotion, but a price or value addition that he had gone to, negotiate for, and that Ghanaians should be satisfied with this.
The minister, first of all, his intention, one would say, sound as if it's politically induced, because the first thing he did when he came to office was to promise Ghanaians that there's going to be a reduction in data prices. Subsequently, we saw holiday packages being given to some Ghanaians, and that was something he vociferously has been advocating for. Now, the case of DSTV came to light. Considering the factors that happened before this particular narrative came to light, has to do with the inflation coming down, the exchange rate coming down, and that were key factors for DSTV. Anytime they adjust their prices, they consistently tell their customers that due to the exchange rate volatility and this and that factors has been something that we preconceived before we exchange our packages. So consistently, we've seen the back and forth with the minister and MultiChoice. But one would say, for the minister's position, it has been too open. For instance, his position is to direct the NCA, who is in charge backed by acts, to consistently negotiate to ensure fairness in the market. So the National Communications Authority are the regulators of the sector. The minister is to focus on the policy of the sector to ensure leadership in the sector. Investors look at how the sector is being regulated before they decide to go into the sector. DSTV, they are not new to this market. They've been in this market for years. They understand how the business is. They understand
over
how
30
politics,
years, right?
Yes, how politics is being played in the country. So for the minister to first of all stand on the platform and come at a private entity tells you how they also respond, because you cannot determine the pricing. Although the key question is, have they violated any regulation in the law? Are they not paying their fees that is being charged? Most of the conditions that necessitate for them to operate are being met. So for the minister to say, if you don't do this, I'll revoke your license, sounds like a threat rather than a negotiation. So that should have been a point where he should have called them to a negotiation table before issuing those threats, demanding that they reduce their prices. Don't forget, when the city was doing well, the first narrative by the Bank of Ghana, by many regulators in the market, was to entice buyers or businesses to reduce prices. That is why you kept seeing some promotional packages from utilities, from those who are selling hardware.
Electroland Ghana did a whole promo to reduce their prices.
That was what was good. So you are going to entice the business and awareness, advocacy, not an enforcement. You can't enforce someone to reduce their prices. What if, within the shortest period of time, the dynamics, business environment changes? Are you going to ensure, you as a government, what are you going to do to sustain the economy? Because the economy is subject to volatility, subject to external shocks, subject to many factors that may not be in the control of government. So it is building by steps. It is just 8 months in office as a minister. You are working. Don't forget, you need those businesses to ensure consistent compliance with what he's saying that he's done for the consumers. First of all, who is protecting the customers who are on DSTV packages? Many have also said that DSTV has been playing the monopoly king for quite some time now. Though let's also not forget the kind of offers they give to their customers. If we do the comparative analysis across the Sub-Saharan Africa, it appears Ghana has the highest in terms of cost of subscription. Over Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Rwanda, all of them have better offers. But Ghana, we are way up ahead, around $98 in terms of value. So this narrative by the minister that it is not really a promotional, but necessarily a reduction. If you don't use DSTV, you are not part of this conversation. But don't forget, sports lovers, Chelsea won yesterday. Good for us. We have to watch it on DSTV. Many people who are betting and saying that this is very important to them because sports and the passion and lovers of sitcoms, those who are watching Big Brother, this is the platform that they have their entertainment, and all these are necessary for them because they have become ardent and loyal customers. So if you look at the report released by DSTV yesterday, it tells you that this is a package promotionally from 1st to 30th of December, which is for their loyal customers, and that upgrade is in line with their old business strategy.
Well, so Caleb, one thing we did when we saw this new FAQ was to try and do some comparative analysis to see whether this has been there before. And the title of the promo, which DSTV says, or MultiChoice says, that will last between October 1st and March, 31st December, is the We've Got You promo, right? That's the title of the promo. So one thing we saw was that We've Got You promo isn't new.
Yeah.
DSTV this year in June did and We've Got You promo. And according to the minister, they usually will do promos in off seasons, right? And so if he is able to, I don't know if he accepts as a promotion, but if he is able to get DSTV to do a promotion in a peak season, possibly that's also some sort of, positive news around that place where we have to give him his flowers and all of that.
The flowers cannot be given. He said, I don't need upgrade, I want reduction.
Yeah.
Don't forget his statement right on the podium during his presser. And that is what Ghanaians are demanding. So he shouldn't forget that we're subjecting him to his own words.
Well, so my question to Caleb is that, since this is not new, why would the minister take such a position and possibly come out for it to look like price reduction, value addition for a period of time? He said there's no period. DSTV says that, well, we see this to be a promotion. We see this to be a way of bringing back those who have possibly migrated to the Nigerian decoder back home, those who have disconnected, those who are not subscribing, to have a chance to come back. He says that I managed to get you a good deal. Is there a difference?
So there are two things. Earlier this year, from January, February, and March, DSTV ran a similar promotion, but this was the top-up promotion. So in that particular promotion, you pay for, if you're on Compass, you pay for Compass Plus, and then DSTV will give you premium. That was from January to March. And I think so that's what they used to call top-up and we show up. Exactly, right? Top-up and we show up. And I think that period is the off-season. I'm not sure about that. I don't watch football like that, so I'm not sure about whether that's off-season anyway. That's the off-season, okay. And then in June to July, so I think June 16th to the end of July, this year again, DSTV ran the We've Got You promotion. And now October 1st to December, they're running the same We've Got You promotion, the same name, We've Got You promotion.
So it means this is not new.
This is not new.
Yeah.
And also, the difference you could say will be the raffle, which the minister says that if you are a premium subscriber and remain on premium, you'll enter into a raffle. But if you read through the 21 questions that DSTV puts, there's no mention of the raffle. So that difference, that could have made a difference between what DSTV have been doing prior to this and what they are doing now. So since that raffle is not mentioned in the current promotion, I can't really say if this is different. But based on all the FAQs, I referred to the 21 questions and compare that to the previous FAQ that DSTV published all on their website about the We've Got You promotion. It's almost the same thing. You pay for your current package, then you put on the next one, and then you can't downgrade in the previous ones. This one too, the idea was that, okay, you can downgrade from premium subscriber of about 800 CDs down to Compass Plus of about 500 CDs, and then you still get access to premium. So in that sense, you've downgraded, but you still get access to premium, which is cost saving. But then from the FAQs from DSTV again, we don't see an option for existing customers.
That's not clear in there.
It's not really clear. Yeah. Then if you really read through the FAQs, it says that you cannot do that. But then they were not explicit in saying that don't do it. They just said it's not advisable, and if you don't pay enough of your current subscription, you don't get access. So it just means that there's no way to downgrade from an existing package that you already have and then benefit from this. So again, adding this to the previous promotions that DSTV are running, the same We've Got You promotion, it's almost the same thing because you can't downgrade previous ones. That's why you can also downgrade. But the only benefit for here is the new customers, like I earlier said. If you're a new customer, instead of going for premium, I'll go for Compass Plus, and then I'll get premium. But if I'm already on premium right now and I want to go for Compass Plus, it's not possible.
It's not time to, I think, talk more on purchasing power. Because one thing we've also done is to look at DSTV prices or the bouquet. How have they traveled over the period? So since 2021, 2022 were the periods where we've had our economic turmoils and all of that, we decided to compare the price of DSTV in 2021, which you see in red, and DSTV now. So what you see is that premium content, for instance, in 2021 September.
Yeah.
2021 September was about, let's say, 4 years ago, right? If you were paying 369 cedis, you will get premium. But now that price has gone up by more than 130% to 865. This was the, what Ghanaians were complaining about that. Well, just look at the difference here and there. We don't really think that our income has increased to that extent for us to have that purchasing power to be here, right? Then if you look at Compact Plus, for instance, has moved from 228 to 570. Compact itself moved from 152 in September 2025. Now we're talking about 380. Family, 86 cedis to 190 cedis. Access, 49 cedis to 99 cedis. And Paddy, which usually wasn't really a big thing, it's now almost like replacing access, right? And many have said that with this new thing that DSTV did in 2024, what they are simply doing currently is that they are only calling in more customers. Because now, if people felt that it was too expensive to pay 65 cedis for premium, DSTV says that with our new, and I'm being very careful, promotion, you can get that one at 570 cedis. When DSTV does that, what happens is that consumers are able to indirectly increase their purchasing power. DSTV itself gets more customers. Their revenue is expected to increase. When that happens, government itself will have more in terms of corporate income tax. They will have more in terms of COVID. We'll talk about the taxes on DSTV and all of that. But my question to Winston is that if you look at what has happened over the period, was it even, maybe let's say, was it even a big win for consumers to tell them about 30 to 50% cut when they have suffered on average 130% increase in price in just 4 years?
Let's not forget, DSTV have different class of customers. They are not just focusing on the ordinary consumers. Basically, there are hotel facilities that subscribe to DSTV. There are cinemas that subscribe to DSTV. There are very high-class neighborhood residential areas, apartments that subscribe to DSTV. So there are specific customers to a specific product, and they have decided to break down this product based on the targeted customer packages. So possibly, those who have fallen off when the price went up due to the factors that they mentioned previously, the unstable city and factors that went into pricing. Don't forget, it's about pricing. Pricing linked with consumer behavior and consumer demand. When the demand and marketing position came by, they started putting out promotional offers saying that you can consume, get an upgrade previously before even 2025. This model of marketing has been pre-existing in their whole trajectory, and it's something they do consistently because of how demanding the kind of offers they give to their customers. So if you look at the offers they give, and if you are someone who is subscribers and want access to foreign international news and information, they are those who provide those platforms. So you go to a hotel facility, foreigners come to the country, they want access to information across Africa. They are providing those dynamics. So they have those, they have the proposition to position their products right before their customers, telling you that I can sell this for you. What do you want to offer? And this is my price tag. So those who are falling off, this is the dynamics. They are those who are going to benefit from this particular offer that they've recently presented, because they are now going to be having access to a higher quality in terms of value. But the price reduction element has been the key factor in controversy. Is it something that the minister is in a position to demand, or is it something that can be reconsidered by the regulator, which is the National Communication Authority, under the Act that is called Electronic Communication Act 755, that gives them the authority to do that, but they don't, that does not necessarily mean that they can revoke the license of DSTV. DSTV is a big brand. We need their business, their private entity. The regulator can also entice other businesses. In fact,
at the moment, what they offer, they are the only company that does that. I mean, which simply means that they are running sort of like a monopoly at the moment.
Absolutely.
There is no perfect substitute to DSTV. So saying that you revoke their license, what happens to the consumers?
Absolutely. So it's interesting to know that this particular proposition is something that certainly will entice any investor to come into their loophole. Because, for instance, just recently, we know the ownership structure has changed.
Yeah.
Like Canal Plus, which tells you that certainly there's going to be an expansion in terms of the content and advocacy that will come back subsequently. So it is too soon to say, but they are in a position to say they can offer more.
Okay, just speaking on the NCA bit, the Communications Act does allow the NCA to step in sometimes with pricing.
Exactly.
So if the NCA says that, sees that your pricing is, so it comes in some caveats. So if the company in question is a single market player or a dominant player in the market,
like DSTV in this case,
DSTV, yes, NCA can step in and make some requests. And if the company does not justify why they have such a pricing model, the NCA can take a step to revoke their license or fine them. So NCA does have some power. And this is the same thing they use with the MTN situation.
Exactly.
They saw that MTN was a single market player, a dominant market player.
Almost, yeah.
They're almost an SMP. And then they directed MTN.
Exactly. The NCA can, but not necessarily the minister. He has a subtle influence.
Yeah.
So that's the angle that I wanted us to comment on that.
But I mean, I think that we should also try and understand why DSTV or MultiChoice is insisting on this approach compared to a direct price cut. When we met during the marketplace, when we were having our internal discussion, was that if MultiChoice decides to cut prices across board, like do a real price cut, and let's say this is a price cut, it means that what MultiChoice is doing is cutting the premium price by more than 200 cedis. Right? And if the minister says that that's not going to be within a fixed period, it simply means that when economic conditions begin to worsen, MultiChoice would have to increase the price by more than what they reduce. And in this case, MultiChoice cannot come back to make any form of, justification to Ghanaians that we want to increase your price by 60%. That will be too hard on consumers. That is why it was difficult for MultiChoice to go on the price cut approach, because if they do that, coming back will mean, and we've seen the average, they do a price hike of about between 15 and 19% in a year, right? 15% and 19%. If they do a real price cut and they have to come back, they have to go above that. And that will be difficult for Ghanaians. So what they want to do is that, well, we can help you by running a promo for a period of time. You win, I win. And when the promo is over, I get a chance to go back to my old structure. And I don't have to come and announce that I have increased price by 15% or 19%. But another conversation to this whole thing is that if government really wants prices to go down, they can also do something. Remember fuel prices. It's just like this, right? It's a free market. Demand and supply forces actually determine what goes on in the market. When government wants fuel prices to come down, it's either they negotiate or possibly reduce taxes. In this case, these are the taxes on the price build-up of DSTV bouquets. The DSTV that you consume in a month, you should know that it attracts a VAT of 15%, NHIL 2.5%, Get Fund Levy 2.5%, COVID levy, which the government promised that they were going to remove, which they say steps are being made, 1%, communication service tax that NCA also takes, right? So these are the taxes MultiChoice will look at, plus inflation, depreciation, the current, everything. They consider all of this because MultiChoice is buying an expensive product like Premier League, an expensive product like La Liga, an expensive product like Big Brother, or let's say even Champions League, and they are selling it. They have to make profit. They have to they have to make profit. So DSTV will look at all of these taxes you are charging me, plus the unfavorable economic condition. So many are saying that if you want real price reduction, or if you want consistency in the pricing or stability, fix your economy and possibly look at your tax regime, because you are saying that there are people in Liberia who their population is less than us, but they are paying less. Possibly it's because their tax structure is favorable for MultiChoice. So there's no need.
So
go ahead.
So the committee that was set up by the ministry had DSTV, the regulators, and then Communication Ministry on there. And before Sam George came up with the committee, he said that he's going to ask DSTV for their price build-up and what goes into it that will result in
definitely.
So it means that the committee knows about it.
They know, yeah.
And then the outcome of the meeting was that they're going to give you a promotion, sort of a promotion or whatever you call it. So it means that the ministry has admitted that the cost build-up and what DSTV is charging might be fair. Because
definitely,
if you come out with a direct price reduction, it means that what's going into the cost build-up of the DSTV subscription cannot be reduced, otherwise DSTV will be disadvantaged, which is why they came out with this sort of promotion. And aside that, you can also see the language is now shifting more to the DSTV Nigeria issue. And then there's going to be a 3-month review of how the DSTV Nigeria boxes come to the country and then how people can get access to that. So I think that's also another key issue that some people are forgetting. So I'm sure, and I'm just speculating here, that the ministry and then DSTV have decided that if they can make sure that they deal with the Nigeria issue, then that's when you can come back and talk about real price reduction. Which is why the committee said that in the next 3 months, you'll come back and talk about the DSTV piracy issue and see how they've managed to curb that and then talk about more price adjustment for the customer.
1 million Ghanaians.
NCA can do easily, but it's a technical issue. You just get to that system, input certain codes, and it can restrict access into the Ghanaian market, especially based on the numbers on the boxes, and something that they can easily do, which I believe on that.
Winston, another question is that there are many who say that the timing was also wrong. Many are saying that already DSTV has to deal with all of this in their price build-up. Why don't you wait until government is done reviewing the VAT, taking away the COVID-19 1%, then bringing effective VAT rates from the 21.5% to about 20%. Then you go to DSTV and make that point. Because with that, you can go and tell DSTV that, well, in your cost build-up, I have been able to do that, right? If you do that, DSTV possibly would have to consider that. But if you go with inflation, exchange rates, and all of those things, they are fluctuating. And DSTV was right when they said that, well, we don't see your 10.25 being stable. 1 month later, exchange rate moved from 10.25 to about 13 cedis. So they were right. Your economy and the structure of your economy doesn't really support stability in terms of pricing. Fix your economy, and DSTV prices will be fixed. Do you agree? 1 minute for us to go.
The system of pricing is different. And if you, as a business, if you don't include certain elements in your pricing, you end up losing business in the next 3 to 4 years, no matter how thriving your business is in the immediate term. So I think DSTV is being strategic, and that is good in their offset. And the minister, it's important that we shouldn't play business with politics.
Yeah.
This is a sector that demands strict regulation, and therefore it's important also not to involve the outlook of saying, I have reduced it. It's about what the regulator has done. That should be the face.
30 seconds, let's go. Yeah.
Well, I think the whole DSTV issue is about the customer.
Yeah.
If you want DSTV, you can pay for it. I'm not interested, so I never get DSTV. So it's just about the customer in your pocket.
For what you did for us yesterday, I think we did it.
Me, I need DSTV, so maybe fix the economy and get us stable prices.
Thank you for watching. See you same time on Friday, 5:30 p.m.